That body looking a little bit slimmer, a little more sleek and streamlined, but there's no stand, there's no optical disk drive. And during that Sony demo, I swear to God, I was pixel popping, zooming in on the screen, trying to actually see a difference between the PS5 standard and Pro footage. But what I will say at the end of the day is certain games will benefit substantially from the new horsepower of the PS5 Pro, which is really just the GPU, the CPU, this console. So it has an APU, which is like the two components melded together, but the GPU is what's been really enhanced here. CPU is still identical to the base PS5. I'm going to get it right out of the way right up front. I personally do not think it is worth buying the PS5 Pro, considering the PS6 will probably be out in about 4 years, and this mid-generational leap isn't that substantial. There are certain games like Final Fantasy VII Part 2, which will definitely benefit from the increased horsepower, considering this is crazy. I bought that game, tried to play it a couple times, then waited because I was like, wow, I can't even actually play this. It's pretty much unenjoyable with the graphical modes that are currently offered. Then I saw Digital Foundry say that, hey, they offered an update or patch where some of that blurry, hazy, foggy, low resolution jankage is gone. So I tried it again like a month and a half later. It was still pretty unenjoyable. So I haven't even gotten a chance to really play through FF7 Part 2 because it looked and felt pretty shitty on the PlayStation 5. And that is where the Pro can really play these games how they should look and feel, meaning 4K upscaled, 60 frames per second locked without dipping, fluctuating. But the thing is, PlayStation, or Sony, I should say, has already mentioned about 2.5 years ago, I mentioned it in a news video when this came out, that they are going to be porting a large portion, I believe it was 60+% of their original IPs, such as Uncharted and Last of Us and Gran Turismo and, a ton of Sony exclusives to PC through like a PlayStation PC launcher. So if you have a PC, a gaming PC, that is always going to be able to crank the graphical fidelity higher than something like a console. And of course, it's upgradable as the years go on. So you don't need to buy a mid-life refresh like a PS4 Pro or Xbox One S or X. Yeah, that's last generation, but you get the point. And as far as midlife refreshes go, looking at this objectively, I've got to say this is one of the more disappointing. I like Digital Foundry's approach on it because they handled it really level-headed instead of just being like, oh, sticker shock, $700 console, which by the way is also not the most expensive console that PlayStation has ever rolled out. The PS3 was $600 US back in this year. So conversion and everything, that's hell of expensive. Really, I mean, at its core, it doesn't do half the shit that the PS5 does. But me personally, as somebody that owns a PS5 and all the consoles and a PC, it doesn't make sense to get a PS5 Pro. It's $700, and at that price, you could actually build a pretty respectable PC, which is going to allow you to play Xbox games through the Game Pass launcher, PC exclusive only games like Escape from Tarkov, and then also PlayStation games because those are getting ported over to PC as well. And then with the PS5 Pro release, the PS5 OG Fat Boy and then the Slim, those are probably going to get price cut. Maybe not the Slim, but the OG for show. So you can just pick those up on sale and get yourself a PS5 that allows you to play the exclusives while they're not ported over to PC yet, and enjoy the features of the DualSense, cool Sony features, being able to use the PSVR 2 headset or use the PlayStation Portal handheld device to remote play around your room, the little PlayStation ecosystem. Oh, also there are 2 headsets that they have out right now. There's an over-the-ear Pulse Elite and the Buds. I haven't reviewed either of them yet. I've had them both since launch. They're phenomenal. Review coming soon. But what's not phenomenal, I would say, is the PS5 Pro, just because it really does seem like it's a console for people that do not want to have a PC and are not going to have a PC. And if that's you, you want the highest performance console right now that only makes sense price and performance wise if you don't have a PC, this is it for show. But I really hate the fact that it's the flagship console and doesn't include an optical disk drive. That is absolutely insane. And also the fact that it is a separate purchase for a vertical stand to be able to properly stand your console up. Granted, you don't actually need that. You can stand the console up without the stand. Not recommended from the manufacturer, but you can do it. Just like you can do whatever you want when it comes to buying this console or not. I fully understand for a lot of gamers having only a console in lieu of a gaming PC, but I feel like there's only a handful of titles like FF7 Part 2, Rebirth, or Spider-Man, some of the draw distances, looking through windows and stuff like that. Things that are more GPU heavy than CPU or memory bound that are really going to benefit. And with that $200 $200, you could probably get an on sale PS5 Fat Boy and then $200 worth of accessories like an extra controller or one of the wireless headsets that Sony offers. Review coming soon. In comparison to previous console midlife refreshes like the Xbox One S and X, PlayStation 4, Slim and Pro, which I felt like were a more noticeable, substantial difference or added a new feature like HDR or a new port or plug or something. I've shared my thoughts on it. Drop in the comment section below what you think about the PS5 Pro, and I'll see you Stallions and Stallionettes tomorrow.